morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to RaceSpot TV's live coverage of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series live on iRacing Live, RaceSpot TV, and DirtVision.com. Hello and welcome to round number 4 here at Williams Grove Speedway. Got a good one on the docket tonight. 15 410 wing sprint cars getting ready to rock and roll. Qualifying times getting posted right now. One time that has not been posted yet is Tim Ryan. Will he make pole once again? Well, we'll see if we can watch as we go along Williams Grove. And Randy, Williams Grove Speedway has a history of delivering here. And, well, let's see if we can have it handled here today. The track looks pretty worn in, though.
Well, and that's a good thing, and that to me makes me really excited, because remember what we saw a handful of weeks ago at USA Speedway? We started out with a track state similar to this, and due to some of the changes they've made coming into this season, that was the best race we've ever seen. Just looking right now, even in qualifying, the top side of the racetrack is pretty much almost already dead, at least in 1 and 2. Currently watching the number 4 of Tim Ryan. He's running some laps right now. His first lap, actually, I do not think was valid, so he's only going to have this one hot lap to go in, and he did tap the wall. If he got a 0x through 1 and 2, that might invalidate his second lap, and someone who's been so dominant in quality, we might see start from the back, but no, he puts in a good time, it puts him mid-pack, Kim.
I wouldn't consider that a good lap if it's a guy who's routinely qualifying on pole. 8th position is good enough for mid-pack. Well, we'll see if he can fight his way to the front. Hopefully we can have some clean starts, good running, and we'll see where they land. So let's take a look here at, hold on a second. We still got Dylan Wagner, who might make the qualifying times, I was going to say. But, well, you know what? Either way, let's take a look at our starting grid. Can't imagine that Dylan Wagner's going to go straight to pole, seeing as he didn't have that good of a practice. You never know. I could be surprised. Anyways, it goes to Lewis Hewitt here on pole position with a 17.350. Austin Semmelman will be starting in the second position with a 17.375. Kevin J. Holly will be starting in third position. Great qualifying from him today. Ricky J. Sanders will be starting in the fourth position. Howard Weaver starts in fifth. Cameron Hola in his sixth. Alex Bergeron finding himself in seventh position. And Tim Ryan, he's gonna, he ran the fastest times in practice. Qualifying not so much. He starts 8th position. Bradley Cash, he'll start 9th. Jock Goodyear in 10th. And Dylan Semmelman in 11th. That's the brother of Austin Semmelman. Chase Briscoe in 12th. Stephen Renaud 13th. Bob King 14th. And Dylan Wagner in 15th. He actually had hit the wall 2 times, managing to post no lap time due to that. So, Randy, we're getting ready here at Williams Grove. Take me through what these guys are going to try to do when they're coming to the start-finish line.
I have no idea, because this is one of the most destroyed starting track states I've ever seen. So the top side is already very, very, very narrow, especially on 3 and 4. I think we're going to see the top side early on be really strong, and I think also on the entry, at least into 1 and 2, I think you can work the bottom a little bit. But I think the top side is going to become very, very slippery early on, and we've only had one race thus far, Cam, that was anything like this, and it was impossible to predict. If it happens again, and I hope it does, it may not be a race you can predict, and that's always good to see.
Yeah, and you're seeing all of the 410 wing sprint cars getting brought out onto the grid right now here at Williams Grove Speedway. Of course, the half-mile clay oval down in Pennsylvania. Mechanicsburg plays home to probably one of the most interesting racing circuits around the country as far as dirt racing goes, simply because of that Pennsylvania posse, the guys that can take it to the World of Outlaw boys on a weekly basis. Well, at least when they get there. If they were to go there every week, that'd be a weekly basis. But either way, Lewis Hewitt just waiting on his number 6 sprint car to get rolled out onto the track. Everyone else getting ready to rock and roll. Now, this is interesting. You see everybody's tilted just a little bit to the right. That's because this track isn't necessarily the most favorable thing in the world, trying to start from a standing start. No dirt around the tires. And ultimately, they've got to tilt those a little bit, try to get them a little bit canted over so they can get started, so they don't hit the inside wall. Not necessarily the greatest thing to do, but I will say, having done many, many starts here, Randy, it is so easy if you're on the inside line, when you punch it, to actually clip that inside left wall.
Yeah, it can be pretty difficult around this place. These guys get themselves gridded up, and we should be rolling off your grid here pretty much in any moment. I think we have pretty much everyone on the racetrack at this point. So should be seeing that iRacing safety truck roll off and get all 15 of these 410 World of Outlaw wing sprint cars rolling here for the 30-lap feature here at Williams Grove. And like I said, this is one I'm really, really excited for. I've been chomping at the bit to watch one of these races that start out at a similar track state to what we saw at USA, and now we finally get one, and it's what is, I would argue, probably the best track in the sim for at least the racing it puts on, in my opinion. Williams Grove is 100% my favorite, so I think this is going to be really, really exciting.
All cars getting away. We will see Lewis Hewitt. What will he do? We saw Tim Ryan over the past couple of weeks. He ends up backing well away from that safety truck. Let's see as they go underneath that bright blue bridge in the backstretch for the very first time, what they're going to do. You can just see just how much these guys need to steer that wheel. These cars are not built to go in a straight line under any circumstances whatsoever. We'll see here. It's basically going to be high side or nothing. I'm pretty confident, as Lewis actually seeing what kind of dirt
like the first 10 laps, yeah.
Yeah, at least until it's destroyed, absolutely. But either way, we'll see. It's going to be a mad scramble to that outside line. And anybody that dives into corner number 1 is actually going to be finding themselves in trouble, because they're going to hit the slick stuff. You can see just right now as everybody's going by, it's nothing but slick, basically all the way to the cushion at the top of the track. And so you can actually see Bergeron. He's dipping down there trying to see, what do I got down here to work with, feeling the track as everybody now packs up behind that iRacing safety truck. He will pull into the pit lane. Lewis Hewitt will now have the field under his right foot, and we will see when will he go. As soon as it goes away, no, he's going to hold on. He's probably going to wait till he gets out of the slick stop. He starts spooling it up, and he actually has trouble getting the power down. He slips once, slips twice, and it's going to be Austin Supplement to the line, as Lewis Hewitt has to take the inside line with 3 or 4 other cars. Everybody else taking it to the high side. Somebody else already spinning out on the high side.
Got a bit of a kerfuffle here in the back as Steven Renaud is slow on the top side of the racetrack. He's trying to get his car back rolling. We're still green as Steven Renaud is now finally getting himself back going here, but Lewis Hewitt not an ideal start, and he's following himself down a handful position. Austin Sevelman, he gets himself to the front. You're absolutely right, Cam, the way the grip is working out. Everyone wants the top side here for these early few laps, and we got second place in the wall, Ricky Sanders. He's tags the wall 2, 3, and 4.
How did that stay green? I don't know. Steven Renaud, he's basically exited from the track. As actually, there he goes again. He's up on the high side of the wall, and he might have damaged his suspension. I think that's exactly what's happened. We're going to have the caution come out. He lost his rear suspension completely after making contact with that wall, and Ricky J. Sanders finds himself going from second position to out.
Yeah, that was a pretty big hit there from Ricky Sanders. He tagged that wall on the right side, hitting the right rear, and the right rear ended up climbing the wall and basically kicking that car not quite upside down, and well, definitely hurt that rear drivetrain. That car would no longer drive. So Austin Sellman from second up to first. Lewis Hewitt drops back. I don't understand the kind of start that Lewis Hewitt got. He only managed to lose 1 position, but you also have these ERT guys of Tim Ryan as well as Cameron Holla. They're up a bunch of spots. Tim Ryan from 8th, 3rd, and Cameron Holla from 6th to 4th. So the 2 Aussies, they pick up a lot of spots.
Yeah, it was a very, very hectic start. Lewis Hewitt was trying to spool it up. I was hoping that he would just wait, but I think he saw the second position car go and went, well, I guess I'm going too, but he's the leader. He gets to pick that. And once that thing got sideways, that was, he had to really wrangle it just to make it to the start-finish line. That shows you how much trouble that inside line, at least at the start now, is been. These guys, they're learning right quick now just what they need to do. Pace track lights will be shutting off this time by, so we've got 1 more lap to go. Total of 30 laps here today at Williams Grove. Austin Semmelman, though, he's finding himself on the inside. Randy, I'm not necessarily sure if you would like to have that happen.
I honestly don't know where you want to start, but I think one thing that's important is that coming off of corner number 4, once you get a little bit off the banking, there is a bit of ideal clay down there on the inside that you can't get a good start with. I think the idea here is we've seen a couple times this season the pole sitters, they want to go as early as possible, say in the middle of 3 and 4, even after sitting back away from the pace truck. I think right now for Austin Sellman, you need to hold that field up for a little bit, and you need to wait until you get onto that tacky stuff on the inside. You don't want to try to put your foot down in the slick stuff. That's a fantastic way to end up doing what Lewis Hewitt did and drop a couple spots.
Or worse, take out half the field, which would make for a very unexciting race. But either way, Austin Semmelman He is obviously one of the pros here as far as the 410 wing sprint car goes. He sticks to the inside line. They spool up once, they spool up twice, trying to get him to go. He will indeed. He managed to catch the dart. Cameron Holla actually had some trouble, and he takes out Alex A. Bergeron. He had Tim Ryan come up on the track on him. Caution flag comes out again, but that is not all the trouble. Somebody else on their own, Chase Briscoe, has found himself up, climbing up the Armco barrier in 2.
Just some silly little incidents there, really just, you know, what you can see happen here on the slick stuff. We saw Tim Ryan, he immediately jumped to the outside lane in front of his teammate, and I think that's what actually caused it. I honestly put the fault on that incident on Tim Ryan, because Tim, just coming off the fourth corner, he just targeted the outside just behind Lewis Hewitt, just in front of his teammate, cut his teammate off. His teammate had to get out of the throttle, then got back on it, picked the front tires up, and then when that happened, absolutely no control from Cameron Holla. I think that's just Tim Ryan. Do a couple questionable starts from pole position. I think that's just over aggression here, and that's really what brought this caution out.
Well, he wanted to get to the outside line. Completely understandable. No problem there. He wanted to get to the outside line by inserting himself, by basically doing it was almost like a slide job, but you know, he was going slower. Everyone's punching in the line. I mean, for Cameron, if he went any slower, I mean, he would have had, I think, Bradley Cash riding right up his rear end. So hopefully this will be a quick yellow. And then there was somebody else that had an incident. That was Chase Briscoe. He ended up, I think that either in the process of trying to get it wound up or what, he ended up collecting that outside wall, giving himself rear suspension damage. That whole rear actually just dislocates from the machine, and obviously that it doesn't go anywhere after that. But either way, racking it up once again here. Are we going to see them try to push up to the outside again? I mean, Tim Ryan's starting inside, and Cameron Holla's going to start this time on the inside now.
Well, I mean, you want to get to the outside groove here, especially the way the cushion is formed up compared to the entire rest of the racetrack. The top side of the racetrack is the quick way around as this surface runs. But the thing is that even though you need to get up there, even though you want to get up there, if you're in a situation where you can't, where oftentimes if you're restarting on the inside groove, and this happens in the real world as well, if you get stuck on the bottom, you oftentimes need to just swallow your pride and stay down there. Tim Ryan, well, didn't really do that, and that's why we saw that incident. Hopefully we see everyone on the inside, even though they want to get up top, be a little bit more patient this time. Yeah, you're going to drop a couple spots, but I'd rather drop a couple spots than possibly end my race right then and there.
So it will be 20 to go at the line for Austin Semmelman. He's going to stay to the inside. I think he's got this down pat. Now he's sticking down, waiting to get clean dirt. He's got it. He's got the whole shot, and he'll jump to the top side for Lewis Hewitt. Tim Ryan being much more hesitant now, and actually he runs right onto the top of Bradley Cash, pulling into that. Bradley Cash finds himself outside the racetrack under caution at number 3 here at Williams Grove. Man, these starts are coming tough, and they're coming tough really because of one car.
Yeah, there's no other way to say it. Tim's just wrecking cars out there. I mean, that last restart, he basically cut off his teammate, and that caused a big issue, put Alex Bergeron out of the race, and right there, obviously would never be clear Bradley Cash, and he just tries to drive it right up to the cushion, and it's basically, if Bradley Cash keeps his foot in it, then Tim Ryan pushes him into the wall as he did, or if Bradley Cash lifts, there's nothing the 15 can do to avoid. The 4 machine, he seems to be
no room
so peaceful. Yeah, he had absolutely no room for the second restart in a row, and he tried to jump the restart a couple times, which you seen him do some foolish things from the pole as well. Tim Ryan, I don't know, protest might be in order.
Now, he's got to get it handled here. It's kind of getting to that point that's just not too... It's not looking like he's having the best day here, but for Bradley Cash, I mean, really, other than woeing up, he basically would have had to hit the brake because he still had to get sideways to make the corner. You can't just drive into the corner. This isn't a stock car. You know, everyone's got to get that thing swung to like maybe a 45-degree angle, and for Bradley, there was nothing there. So now 3 cars are now out of the race. Austin Semmelman, now second time finding himself with that start. I think he's finding himself in a bit of a comfortable spot with where he wants to start. He gets the whole shot over Lewis Hewitt that last time. Will he be able to do it again?
It'll be interesting to see. Semmelman's been doing a fantastic job, and that's the thing to keep in mind. It's not like everyone on the inside is struggling to get off on the restart. Semmelman has done a fantastic job, and you know, last time through Cameron Holla on the inside, he did a great job, and I didn't see very many issues besides that blue ERT machine have problems as they came off 4, come to the green. So there is some decent grip down on the bottom. You just got to be a little bit patient with it, and you got to be careful with your right foot, and you got to be situationally aware and know who's around you.
Yeah, so let's see if they are going to rack them up again, this time by no lights on that pacing truck are on. We'll be hitting lap number 15 as we go across the start-finish line, giving us 15 laps to go in a shootout. So for Austin Semmelman sticking way to the inside, everyone else behind him in his line sticking way to the outside. Austin Semmelman finds some dirt, he punches it, he's got a massive launch now. Tim Ryan, well, he's got nobody around him, and maybe that's for a good reason as everybody now gets away. A couple of big, huge slides from the guys that started on the inside line, but we've got a green going.
Finally got a bit of a green flag run, but I don't know how much longer because we have a huge gaggle of cars here in the back of your pack. Jock Goodyear in the number 2 machine. He got checked way up, and there's now a basically 6-car train here trying to all fight for 6th place out there on the racetrack. And meanwhile, race leader Austin Sellman, he stretched out a good half a second gap over Lewis Hewitt. Tim Ryan trying to reel in that number 6 machine as well as they work themselves back down the front straightaway, and side by side, both somehow fitting themselves up on the cushion. That's Cameron Holla and Howard Weaver through 3 and 4. Not a lot of room up there to run side by side, Cam, but they somehow made it work. Also, big slider from Bob King behind. He's racing with Dylan Wagner.
Yeah, front 3 breaking away right now. Their tires are so close as Jock Goodyear throws a massive slider. Big counter from Howard Weaver down the front stretch here. Take it away, lap number 18. Weaver sticking way to the high side. Massive slide from Goodyear, and this actually is going to continue onward. Weaver now pulls to the inside. So Weaver, he's got it, and he has the launch going into 3 and 4. And Jock Goodyear, I think he's going to have to concede it this time by. Weaver's got the exit, and that's going to allow Kevin J. Holly into the picture.
But Jock can easily be trying to, no, never mind. He managed to find the open space. We got a car up in the wall here towards the tail end of your field. Steven Renaud, he just clipped that wall with his right rear. I think he just hopped the cushion. He did that all by himself. Or yeah, no, it was Steven Renaud. We did stay green.
Yeah, we did stay green. Yeah. So he cleared the car. All right, well, that's the second time that Steven Renaud has somehow not pulled the yellow. Apparently, the officials are not a big fan of Steven Renaud when it comes to taking care of his car. But either way, Austin Semmelman, though, he's happy to see that. He's got a massive lead as they go across the start-finish line, as he has got 1 second on everybody else. Lewis Hewitt, he's running comfortably in second. Tim Ryan's finding himself in a bubble in third. And then it goes to Cameron Holla, Howard Weaver, Jock Goodyear, Bob King, Dylan Semmelman, then Dylan Wagner, then Kevin J. Holly. He's found himself way back after starting in third position, not having a grand old day. Big battle, though, between Bob King, Dylan Semmelman.
We also need to watch this fight for second and third because Tim Ryan, he tried the bottom through 3 and 4, and he reeled in Lewis Hewitt. He goes to the inside once again, this time through. There's a bit of a grip strip down there, and the 4 machine has found it. He sticks that left rear into the mud, and he doesn't get quite the run he did, but he's still reeling in second place runner Lewis Hewitt. Through 1 and 2 they come. Both go to the top side. Inside, not quite as much grip down there on the bottom just yet. And does Tim Ryan throw the slider? Yes, he does. Will he get clear of Lewis Hewitt?
Yellow.
I don't think. Yes, he will. If the yellow flies, not sure who had the spot for second, but we will get a restart.
Yeah, we will. I believe it was Dylan Semmelman. And that number 9 machine, yes, it was going across the start-finish line, finding himself throwing way up high. Came in a little too hard. This is an accident that we've seen all day long. Dylan Wagner also finding himself involved, though his machine is okay. Everybody trying to throw at max speed into 1 and 2, and it just hasn't worked. You gotta, in my opinion, lay on the brake. You gotta link your brakes, and you gotta just squeeze maybe 3 or 4% on that brake before you chuck it if you're gonna try that outside line.
Yeah, you need to be really careful here. You might be able to just, if you got the car really dialed in, you might be able to put your foot on it, because the main thing with these 410 wing sprint cars, 80%, 90% of finding the speed out of these things is getting grip on that right rear tire, and there is just enough grip around the top side of the racetrack still, especially 1 and 2, that you can essentially set that right rear on the top side of the racetrack, and you can usually keep your foot in it, and that'll just usually carry the car around the outside of the corner. Turns number 3 and 4 is a much different story, because you see the entry to 3 and 4, how slick it is, and the top line, yeah, and the top line is much narrower as well. And look at the exit coming off of 3 and 4. I think that's why we're seeing, that's why we're seeing Tim Ryan elect to go to the bottom. Because if you look, there's actually a lot of clean dirt down there if you can keep it down there through the center of the corner. But now, Tim Ryan and Austin Sellman, by far the 2 quickest drivers we've seen this season, they're going to restart first and second inside of 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Ryan made that move at the exact right time. And folks, we're not talking when you're dancing the wire on the top side of 1 and 2. We're not talking about quarters. We're talking about nickels and dimes here. That's the target you need. But either way, lights are out on the official iRacing pace track, giving us a nice 4-lap sprint to go here at Williams Grove Speedway. It will be Austin Semmelman. He will be restarting that inside line. Tim Ryan, he's pushing himself way forward. He's got to whoa that pony back just a bit. Will Austin Semmelman wait? He will most likely wait until he's got a good patch of dirt to launch from. There he goes. Austin Semmelman launching himself, gets cleared, going ahead of Tim Ryan. Lewis Hewitt finds himself securely locked into third as we are green once again.
We got jostling for position. Lewis Hewitt managed to keep third, but we got a 3-car incident down the back straightaway. 2 of your Evolution Racing Team cars get involved in Jock Goodyear. He rolls back up into traffic into the secondary incident. I think that might just end it. We might just get a 1-lap restart.
I'm not sure about that one. Let's see if we can get a replay of this from Jock Goodyear. That number 2 machine, he was way to the inside, got a good launch, and Cameron Holla, obviously no spotters, nothing like that. You're very confined with your view, and I just don't think he saw. I think Cameron Holla went to the inside, went, all right, I can throw a massive slider on Howard Weaver, and just as Jock Goodyear was getting off the line, and 2 ERT cars finding themselves tangled together.
Yeah, they were both essentially trying to, hit the same bit of racetrack and do the exact same move and get up the inside of those 2 race cars and potentially pick up 2 spots. The problem is they both did it at the same time, and that brought the both of them together. It would have been a fantastic move if one of them had done it, or if neither, if one or the other had done it. But it just, worked out as such. And I think you're right. I think that's just, the nature of general dirt racing, especially late in the race. You see the 2 cars in front of you lose a bunch of momentum like that, you get an awesome amount of traction coming off the corner. You can just stick your foot in it and unleash 800 plus horses down onto the dirt, get the drive off, and the chance to pick up 2 spots. I don't think anyone's going to let out like that, especially when it's pretty unlikely that the driver next to you did the exact same thing you did and would be trying to make the exact same move.
Are we going to get a 1-lap shootout? That's my question here, because if the lights go out on this lap, that brings us to...
No, they're starting lap 30 right now.
Okay, so next time by will be it. So yes, we're going to finish under yellow. All right, whew. All right, so Austin Semmelman breathing a massive sigh of relief from that one, as Tim Ryan, he was trying to put on the attempt, managed to get the pass just before the yellow came out on Lewis Hewitt for that second position. Bit of a combative day today. I think we hit 5 cautions. That is not the way we normally run things here in the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series here on iRacing and RaceBot TV. But you know what? I think Austin Semmelman will take it, and take it indeed. He will be happy as that number 1 machine finding himself coming off of corner number 4. Obviously, those 410, that 410 engine not roaring, mostly purring down the start-finish straight behind the iRacing safety truck, as Austin Semmelman will find himself the victor. To the victor go the spoils. Austin Semmelman finds himself the winner here at Williams Grove. Let's take a look at the official results here from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. That number 1 machine, Austin Semmelman, takes it in 15 minutes and 54 seconds. Tim Ryan will finish in the 2nd position. Lewis Hewitt in 3rd. Howard Weaver comes home in 4th position. Bob King started 14th, finishes in the 5th position. Dylan Wagner didn't put in qualifying time. Had that qualifying woes as laps disavowed. He finishes in 6th position. Kevin J. Holly, he finishes in 7th. Jock Goodyear in 8th. Cameron Holla in 9th. 2 teammates finding themselves bringing out the final caution. Steve Renaud, Dylan Semmelman, Alex Bergeron will finish in the 12th position. Bradley Cash will finish in 13th. Ricky Sanders comes home in 14th position. Chase Briscoe finds himself finishing in 15th. Randy, not the day we were expecting here at Williams Grove, but we will say the track, at the very least, was, I would say, an expert's track.
It was a very difficult surface out there, but this is what these guys need to learn how to race on. This is, go to a World of Outlaw event at your local racetrack, and yeah, for the heats and for qualifying and maybe for the trophy dash, the track's gonna be nice and tacky. But once you start getting through the B mains and into your main events, your main features, into the A mains, that track is really, really slick. You can see it in a lot of the highlights we played before a real show. And this is how the guys race in real life. These guys need to learn how to handle it on the sim.
Yeah, they need to get that setup dialed in. We have Austin Semmelman. We'll get him out of that 410 wing sprint car, and we'll get him here. And there he is, Austin Semmelman, joining us in the booth. Austin, normally when we have a talk after Williams Grove, it was a fantastic race and massive, running. This track, it was about as worn as I think we've seen, period. And my goodness, did you guys really have to dance a razor's edge, and that tended to bring out massive amounts of cautions today.
Yeah, that was interesting there. We had to rip the fence there to be anywhere up front, but unfortunately we had all those cautions there. But happy to get the win, of course. But yeah, wish we could have had some more green flag laps.
Yeah, that high side was basically it. At the very end, though, Tim Ryan had started to find out that inside line coming off of 3 and 4 was the best way to go, because all the grip has basically been demolished around the track. I mean, I can only imagine what this racing surface would have been like if it had gone green. You coming into this, did you do a lot of practice laps with the track this morning?
No, not at all. I probably ran for 20 to 30 minutes this afternoon when I had a chance on it was like 50%. So it wasn't anywhere near what it was here. But my car felt really good. We actually had a race at the VLR at the track very similar to what it was. So I had a good idea where I needed to be. So that helped a lot, and our car felt really good, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, you were definitely putting down great lap times, certainly faster than pretty much anybody else in the field. But either way, these restarts, that first restart, you got a little, when you were the leader coming in anyways, you were getting a little hustled, everyone else coming around, you seemed to really push you. But once we started getting into that habit of restarts, you really got into a comfortable rhythm of finding the spot to restart. Was it a bit of a pain in the butt trying to woe everything up? I know we normally start in corners 3 and 4, but that would have been very disadvantageous to you.
Yeah, it takes lots of patience. I had to go when the grip was there. You can't restart when in the middle of the slick, so I had to kind of wait until I had some sort of track out of turn 4 before you could go. So I didn't wad myself and the whole field up. So definitely had to do that, and thankfully it worked out for me.
So I know that we had a boatload of cautions. Wasn't necessarily the greatest day in the world. Tons of retirements today. We're going to Volusia, and we've had great luck with Volusia with doing exactly that. So either way, hopefully maybe we can get the Volusia curse out of the way here at Williams Grove, and we can have a good race at Volusia then?
I think I'm going to make a prediction. I think you guys are going to be really surprised about Volusia. I think it's going to be probably one of the best races we've had, in my opinion. I may be wrong, but I think these new tracks and the way you have to drive it, we're not all going to be fighting for the exact same spot like we were before. So I honestly think it might be a pretty good race at Volusia this time, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we'll hold you to it. Either way, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we got the pink car this month, so I'm helping out the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Any money I win goes towards the foundation's website. So just something I can do to help out. Obviously, didn't win any money tonight, but other races I race in. So definitely looking to help them out. It's cool to run up front and get their car in victory lane tonight. And of course, Team VLR. My teammates ran pretty good tonight. Unfortunately, Alex got caught up, but yeah, it is. Thanks to you guys for doing this, of course.
Well, of course, our pleasure. Austin Semmelman, everyone, your feature winner here in the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series for round number 4. Randy, any final thoughts here and thoughts looking forward to Volusia?
Well, Austin thinks it's going to be a good race, but I don't quite share his optimism given the circuit's history. But I do want to see, I do want to see a good race there at Volusia. I think it really warranted it. And like he said, with the way the new way the track's worn in, and the fact that we're generally getting slicker circuits than we ever have before, could make things really interesting. But we'll have to wait and see in 7 days' time.
Well, Hugo, I think it is about time to spool it up one last time. Well, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here from Williams Grove Speedway on iRacing Live, RaceSpot TV, and DirtVision.com. It's been round number 4 of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series, home on iRacing, of course. I've been Cameron Walsh, that's been Randy Chenworth, that has been Hugo Louis on the production staff. Thanks so much, and we're in design and pretty much everyone else that makes the choo-choo train that is RaceSpot TV rolling. We're going to Barbersville, Florida next week For Volusia, we typically don't necessarily have the finest and cleanest of races. Let's see if we can turn that ship around. We're going to be under the lights. Even more pressure added there, and we're probably going to have a good one according to Austin. Some women will hold him to it. Either way, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you in 1 week's time in Barbersville. So long from Williams Grove.